Listen, if networking worked the way it's taught, you still wouldn't be looking for better rooms. And I say that not because I want to beat up networking. It's just that it's not even that networking is broken, honestly. It's because people are late, either lazy, they don't know, no one even teaches us how to network properly, or they're just bad at it. It's broken because the environment's wrong. So if you ever felt that way, just know it's not just you. You were never equipped to effectively make a connection and turn that connection into something fruitful. And then the next deal is the environment. The system, the way they design most networking experiences, they're not fruitful. I mean, really look at it. Think about all the events people go to. Think about all the massive group chats, all the join my communities, and then fast forward a week later, 2 weeks later, 2 months later. You'd be lucky if you go 6 months, and I'm pushing it. People quietly stop showing up. I mean, engagement drops. It's the same two or three people, Lisa and Tez. They the main one talking. Everyone else is just listening. And then you put the group chat on do not disturb, and then eventually you just leave the group chat. That's the same way with massive events. Everyone just passing by. Hey, nice to meet you. Oh, okay. Yeah, what do you do? Okay, awesome, awesome. Listen, let's stay connected. You got a business card? And you got a business card that I can use as a placeholder and lose along the way? Right? And I was really sitting down. I was like, what is it about networking? Because I see all these posts, people saying, you don't build a network, build yourself, and the network will find you. That's one polarity. And on the other side, you have a whole bunch of individuals saying, hey, listen, you build the network and your network is your net worth. And I sit down, I'm thinking to myself, what's the truth? What's the truth? If you're ever built something, you already know the people who are really the doers, not thinker, not theorizers, the people who are really building something, who really have a desire to to live and I don't want to beat up when I say average life, but a life that's custom made, tailor fit to them specifically. People who want to curate that type of lifestyle. And I always say all the time, life is what someone has, styles the way that few people live it. You know, those are the very first type of people, the smartest people, the capable people. They disengage first from the group, not because they don't care, but because the return on their attention is low. That's why high performers say, don't go to networking events. It's a waste of time because the return on their attention is low. And when you move into entrepreneurship, you don't get paid by your time anymore. You get paid by your value off of what you produce. And so when one of the biggest things I've seen from being in multiple events, group chats out the wazoo, communities of all time. I mean, I've been in a community for entrepreneurship. I've been in a community for knitting, crocheting. I've done it all. I am a community guy. And what I realize is when effort doesn't compound, people blame themselves instead of the environment. If a baby chokes on the pork chop on steak, who you gonna blame? Are you gonna blame the baby because they ate steak? Or are you gonna blame the environment that made steak available, that just had it out there loosey goosey? I know loosey goosey, right? And this is when I realized the realest problem when it comes to networking, the issue is not even networking. People don't even know what that means, but it's really the unstructured access. It's unstructured access. Why do I say that? Omar, why do you say that? I say that because access without structure only creates noise, not opportunity. I want you to really think about the last big group chat that you were a part of. At first, it was high energy. Everyone was, yes, I'm super excited. Yes, let's connect. Yes, let's make it happen. Let's do it. And then it becomes unreadable. People are just spamming the chats, promoting themselves, sending random things into the chat. And then whenever there is an important message, it gets buried. The value's not the same. And that's when I realized, especially in the social media era, which is pros and cons, and people have now took on the mentality of a crock pot approach. They left that in the past. If you've been around the block for some time, you know crock pots, they take some time to cook. It's like the best meals if you eat on Thanksgiving, they don't start Thanksgiving day of. They start seasoning and preparing a week in advance, 2 weeks in advance. Well, what I realize is when it comes to networking, the largest rooms always reward performance and visibility, not alignment and trust. Networking should be about alignment and trust. When you say you're going to network, your network is your net worth. And if you don't like your net worth, you got to keep changing the net until it works. What makes it work? Well, if you start an engineering business, if you start an electrician business, if you get into bookkeeping, if you get into cleaning, odds are your current network, your phone book, everyone you know in your life, odds are they're going to be maybe 1 or 2% of your actual customer or partners. So you're networking to find an aligned community. That's why we say your vibe attracts your tribe. But with larger rooms, everyone's faking. Everyone's trying to look at me.com. There's no authenticity. So there's no connection. And that's when I realized social media platforms, especially, they monetize attention. We are in an attention warfare right now. Everyone wants our attention, but no one wants to build relationships. They're designed to scale noise, not connection, not connection. People got 50,000 followers, 100,000 followers, and they began like 5 likes, by the way. So they bought it, obviously. I mean, read between the lines. But hey, listen, they got 500,000 followers, 100,000 followers. At best, maybe they know 10 people of those followers. Hey, listen, yeah, this is Susie. She has a cat. Her favorite color is XYZ. She wants to build this, and this is why she wants to build it. I mean, the basic stuff. That's not connection. You may have social status, perceived social status, but that's not real leadership. That's not even real connection. That's not even a relationship. No. And that's why I realized individuals don't need more exposure. I really feel like when it comes to solutions from all the rooms, from all the difference makers between the people who get quality connects versus just riffraff, as I like to call it, it's not exposure alone. It's the placement. You got someone has to put you in position. If you look at what's happening right now, audiences create attention, but rooms create movement. And I love the saying, mass movements are never started by the masses, always a few individuals. See, as I matured in entrepreneurship, I realized the smaller the rooms, the better quality, the bigger the conversations, the bigger the impact. The larger the room, the less the quality, the less the authenticity, the vulnerability, the transparency. Because there are different levels of communication. First, you just have honesty. Hey, listen, yes, I'm outside with my homeboys today at the bar. Next thing you have your transparency. Hey, listen, yes, I'm with TJ and we are out right now at the bar. I should have gave you a heads up, but we are here. We'll probably be here for a little bit. That's transparency. Then you move into vulnerability. Hey, listen, today was a crazy day, babe. I know you don't have a lot, you had a terrible day. I did as well. TJ gave me a call, and honestly, I just needed some time for myself. I still love you. And yes, there's other women in this space, obviously, but I am here for TJ, and we just needed to connect. I'll be home at this time. See, each level has not just the raw truth, but context and their real emotions, intimacy. It's called intimacy. Into me, I can see. That's where the connection happens. That's why networking should happen because people don't buy platforms or products first, they buy people. Do we align vision and value wise? I mean, really think about it. If you've been to any type of event, anytime there's an audiences, one to many, it's diluted. The speaker can masquerade much better because there's so many different people in the audience and so many different levels. They can just look at the back of the room, look at the clock, and make blanket statements and say, "Hey, listen, this is for you," and just give you some wide overlens deal, and people are going to buy into it because of the room. But you're most exposed when you sit down with someone one on one in small groups. You can't hide anymore. It's too personal. Really, really think about to all the experiences, masterminds included. Think about all the rooms you've been in that have been many to many, one to a few, one on one. And think about which rooms was just attention and then which rooms actually created movement. Which rooms got you fired up at first, and then a week later, you're in the same position. And then which rooms wasn't a lot of hype, but they gave you infrastructure. People are looking for rooms, the placement. Because look, I never forget. I got to college. I'm Jamaican, but I was born in Germany. Went to college on the East Coast, and I was in college, and my faith was going like this a little bit, and then I don't have this in my room. The guy named Jazz, he went to school, and my older sister went to school. He started a men's group called Kings More Than Conquerors, and he invested his own check because he was in med school at the time to get the small group. I mean, the group was probably about 7 or 8 people. He gave us men Bibles. That was in 2019, 18. I have that Bible today. That's my main Bible. That's another example. I was sitting down and I crossed Alpha Phi Alpha, obviously, I was in the CODIS. And when I got on campus, everyone around me who was really having an impact were alpha men. There was twins there. They blew up a nonprofit called Be the Movement because they made a rap song referencing SpongeBob. The Krusty Krab. Pizza for you. They made that, right? And it went viral because we had a snowstorm. They recreated that. And their story is super phenomenal. And they were talking about how they're going to be doctors and all that stuff. And they end up getting a grant by the school because of the publicity that actually funded them to stay in school. They were about to have to drop out. We were an individual named Kari. He was from Virginia. He was overseas in Italy in college doing the program, working on getting his pilot license. What am I saying? I'm saying that my environment gave me a different exposure and it became a mental model for me to duplicate. Meaning, when you see someone doing something, you create an image of yourself doing it, and that stimulates your desire. That's why you get frustrated because you catch an image mentally of what you could be or what you could be doing. And then you look around at your present reality, your current environment, your current circumstances, the banking account, the relationship, the mental health, and you say, this is not what I see up here. And that's when I realized that every time I transformed, it wasn't just from information, but it was from individuals. Every meaningful opportunity, even the entrepreneurship. I went from thing to thing, thing to thing, business to business, trying to figure it out. And everywhere my feet went, my mind went with me. It wasn't until I met my mentor and business partner and really a friend to me today that my business started to grow. A person. So what am I saying? I'm saying that every meaningful opportunity comes from conversations, not a post. See, the smaller rooms allow you to be heard. They give context, they give nuance, they give trust. They allow you to really get your foothold and figure out what is it that we can do here. If you look back at the Declaration of Independence, that was a small mastermind group. John Maxwell would call it the leadership table. And that's exactly what's missing in networking today. Not aimless conversation, intentional or unintentional, but curated rooms that facilitate structured conversation based on the fact that we're going to show up to understand, and then you'll be understood. So here's my solution to this. Instead of building new communities or another community or another group chat, I said, listen, let's just test better rooms. Because if rooms are the missing piece, curated connection is the missing piece, then the solution isn't another platform. It's designed conversations, environments. So here's what I said I do. Let's leverage the platforms that already exist, like Zoom, and let's just curate breakout rooms. Let's make the people easy to identify and connect with. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do 5 to 7 conversations, curated conversations, Zoom breakout style, under an hour. No looking for the networking events. No taking time out of your day trying to figure out is this worth it. No, are these people online? Literally, all the heavy lifting's done for you. Just show up with an open mind, the right attitude. Set aside an hour. It's probably going to be around 45 minutes. And you'll get the chance to connect with 5 to 7 individuals, rapid speed networking style. And then it's up to you if you feel like you resonate and want to explore anything after that. I mean, it really makes the most sense. And then we have something called a storyboard where people can share their story. Hey, listen, this is who I am. This is what got me started on whatever I'm building. And this is why I'm doing it. This is the vision. This is the type of people who benefit the most. This is the people I want to partner with, the customers who I believe I have a solution for their problem. Here's what I'm based out of. So that the newest individuals in the environment can come in, they can go through the story discussion board post style and just scroll down and say, okay, yeah, I relate with her. Yeah, okay, I relate with him. Okay, yeah, this is my person. Let me independently connect with them. Because if you've been around entrepreneurship or even any events, you realize the best conversations never happen in the main room. They happen when people can actually talk. If you've been to house parties, you know the best conversations aren't where the main music is. It's when you guys duck off to the side a little bit. When it's just you and you, one on one. Same thing at concerts. Same thing in business. Same thing when you're trying to get your tribe together to figure out what's the solutions. It's always intimacy. But the truth is, and y'all ain't gonna like me. All right, you not gonna you may wanna throw a couple of Mayweathers at me, all right? Just a little bit. But understand, I got some creed in me. All right, I got some creed in me. Okay. So if you throw some hooks, I can hey, right? I'm gonna slip it all day. I say that because not everyone benefits from intentional rooms. They don't. And that's the point. That's the point. See, because intentional rooms, they only work for people who value alignment over attention. So really, this is not for people who are just performers, people who just want to sell, pitch. People who just want to be seen. Look at me.com, look at me, I'm killing it because they want the validation. Nothing wrong with that. That's where you are. You got to mature through that. Everyone goes through different stages. It's part of the journey. So I'm not beating y'all up. I'm just being very clear on who this is not for. I'm on your side. I'm on your side. This is for though people who are builders, people who are front line in crisis like the water crisis in Flint, Michigan, people who are front line in urban planning, affordable housing, people who are in organizations that are trying to handle the child care, people who are front line on real world issues, real entrepreneurs, people who are building something real. And they're just short on connections. They're short on capital. They're short on the right vehicles to make ends meet. That's who this is really for. And if that resonates with you, then you understand that sometimes big events, networking events feel draining. But the smaller rooms, when you're with the right people, they energize everything. They energize anything, any and everything. So here's what I'm saying. The experience what we're doing is free to try. Get your sample, but it's going to be protected long term. And we keep this thing super intentional by keeping it small. See, the first session is going to be absolutely free. I want you to see the value from it. But ongoing access is going to be 17 a month, just to filter out the people who scared of a Chick-fil-A meal. Because I don't want to exclude anyone. But as this grows, I'm gonna raise the price. Not for really for revenue, but for quality control. It's gonna incentivize you to grow in something different. Oh man, I can't get in that $10,000 room. I can't get into this $50,000 room. I gotta work on my impact. And if I'm gonna impact more people, I gotta work on my identity. And the beautiful part about it is there's no contracts. Stay if it's useful, leave if it's not. It's your choice. Anything you do in business, anything you do when it comes to leadership, you want a voluntary army. See, Simon Sinek talks about this and start with why. The goal is not to do business with everybody, leadership wise. The goal is to really mastermind and collaborate with individuals who believe what you believe. That's the name of the game. For your inner circle, the values and visions have to be in alignment. So hopefully, if this resonates with you, just comment or DM me or reply, invite, and I'll send you the details. You've already missed the first two sessions, but that's okay because right now we're at the beginning of something completely new in 2026, even though y'all know in the real spring, the real New Year doesn't happen in spring. But I digress. All right, I digress. I never forget when it comes to networking, I realized that a lot of individuals want to find the right people, but no one wants to become the right person. It's much easier to just pick up a five-star athlete, much harder to become one. And that's when I realized a lot of people want change, but they don't want to be changed. That's why the numbers always stay the same and only the faces change. And the individuals who are really going to benefit from design rooms like this, story audits, network audits, the environment that we're curating here together. This isn't more information. It's curated execution. Just being honest. And the truth of the matter is, more people want to leave butt prints than footprints. It's one thing to talk a vision, it's another thing to put your vision where your feet are. And walk it out, walk it out, walk it out, walk it. It's all walk it out. No, it's not walk it out. It's another thing to walk it out. See, your network is going to grow and you're going to start attracting the right individuals when you start associating with people who pull out the talent in you. If you're into gospel, the gospel means good news. If you're into your word, when it comes to the person who had all the talents, the first person had one talent, the next person had three talents, the next person had five talents. It wasn't about the quantity of talents. It was about what they did with it, the investment, the multiplication, the risk factor. And what I'm saying is your network is really a reflection of your current identity, and more importantly, your environment. So in 2026, I know we got Bitcoin and we got meme coins and we got all these different currencies. But I'm a firm believer that in 2026, the strongest currency is going to be collaboration. That's why when you have the right net, everything works.